guys, welcome to another Kamikaze creation video. Back when I started doing videos and started building the UC, I was doing reasonably short videos, short snippets, 30 seconds, 45 seconds of different processes. The UC has gone through a huge transformation from when I committed to taking the engine out not long after I got the body painted. But I've just gone and put all of those little snippets together in one production. So for other people who are doing this process, whether it be UC and LH and LX, very similar process. I've stayed with the 6, and this series of snips is from past videos, but a bit of a compilation of the process from going from the original engine bay through to the running car before I put the supercharger on, and that's coming soon. The old girl's a nice clean car, pretty stock standard, interior really standard, new paint job, running Bilstein suspension all round on King springs, lowered down a little bit, new bushings, etc. The current motor in it, I think she's running like a 186 9-port head on it, Holly, base gear, not a bad little engine, doesn't rev real hard, doesn't go real hard. Looking forward to giving her an upgrade. Here we have the replacement motor, classic old cast iron block, bit of new technology going on top. She's currently got a 12-port YellaTerra aluminium head on it, 72cc. Need the extra cc capacity because she's going to be running a M90 supercharger kit, the full box and dice by Barnett Performance, being built currently at the moment. Can't wait to get it added on. Over here we have a nice new set of strackies ready to go on her. Time to pull the old 202 out. Not a bad motor, as I said before. But she's got to come out for that beast up the back there somewhere to go in. Going to get the 173 running without the blower at this stage. Just get it in, get it running, get it run in. But pulling the engine out to give it to a good mate of mine who's going to do the engine detailing, do a bit of paint work, tidy up, get it looking all flash, ready for the new motor. Start to get there, guys. Phase 1, radiator, all the gears coming out, radiator hoses, alternator, starting to break it down. Looking forward to giving it a really good clean up as I put stuff back in, but she's starting to get there. Starting to get down to it now. Engine mounts, gearbox mounts, a little bit of work in the console, taking the shifter off, and she's getting close to lifting out. The old girl's out. Celica gearbox sitting behind the old 202. Steel case, not a bad little gearbox. Engine is absolutely filthy, oil leaks. Hopefully the new one's a bit better than that. She looks good sitting out of the car. She hasn't had oil in it. Hopefully she's not too bad. And for those doing this, make sure you drain the gearbox before you pull it out. It helps with that mess sitting in under there. Anyway, stage 1 complete. The car goes off probably Tuesday to get the engine bay detailed, and then it's all hands on deck to get it back together. Had a few parts delivered while I was away. The one I'm looking at today is the Mao Woods underdash hydraulic clutch. We bought the little reservoir and extra braided lines, and I'm just looking at fitting up the retaining pin to hold the hydraulic bearing in place. We have a bit of a look over here. Just setting up the gearbox at the moment, and that retaining pin is going to go in just here, where I've taken these 2 bolts out, hook up the retaining pin so that when I put the thrust bearing on, she holds in place. Should be good. Yeah guys, it's got that retaining plate in now. I was about 90 degrees out. It was the top two bolts I had to have out. They all seem to be different spacings, and the top two bolts match up with the retaining pin. The braided lines coming out where the old clutch fork used to be. And I put a couple of spring washers in behind the heads of those nuts. And the thrust bearing is sitting in place. I'm just doing all of the measurement set up at the moment with the instructions that come from Mal Wood, setting up the right distance from the clutch fingers, and all those instructions are supplied by Mal, which is brilliant. Well, she's back from having the paintwork done. Looks really awesome. Blue and black's the theme, as you can see. We'll have a bit of a close-up of a couple of the items in there. Yep, so she's all been done in 2-pack, the same as the rest of the car, with black accents. Looking nice and shiny. Still got the stainless brake lines coming. Another mate has made those up for me, but she's looking nice and smooth and shiny all over. Had the bonnet latch done black too, the horn, and looking forward to doing some wiring. So I'm going to cut some of the wiring in and hide it away, tuck it in down under the main rails there. So that's the next job. And I've also got the Mal Wood clutch master cylinder to fit in the firewall, and the brake pedal to put on up under the dash. So I'll talk a bit about that later in the next video. Looking good. I bought this 12 port manifold because the old head was a 9 port. Bought this from, you can see it, AUSIE. Same as I bought a set of extractors off them too, which I'll eventually put on. They're a nice set of extractors. There is another company that I found, Sonic. Sonic's apparently is pretty good product, though it's a 4-barrel adaptation, which you can get an adapter plate, and I've got a 2-barrel carby. They're about the same price. This was 500, theirs is 500, but it's not a bad manifold. I'll keep it, maybe use it on a different motor when I'm finished with it on this motor, but it came up quite nice, clean, good product, fits up to the 12 port head really well, and seems to supply the fuel as it should. It's a 140 amp upgrade alternator for a Holden straight 6. It doesn't fit perfectly. You have to do a few modifications to it. The best thing is it's really simple to install as far as wiring. I've just got one positive wire down there, you can see on the nut, that runs straight to main power, and there's one plug in the back of it, just a spade fitting, that runs through to your dash light. I had to modify the bracket. This bracket here, I actually cut about 10 mil. I cut a section straight through here and then added 10 mil in to widen up this spacing. It's a bit wider than the original one, which is down here, ugly and dirty, and that brings it forward so it lines up. And you'll notice also, if I can get around, you'll notice I've had to bend the front clamping bracket as well out a bit more. This angle is much steeper to bring it out and line up the fan belt. Anyway guys, it's a good product, no worries with power, charges the battery really well with that 140 amp upgrade. Catches. This is from Melbourne High Cool Auto Parts. I found them on eBay. Was looking at some aluminium radiators just to tidy up the engine bay a little bit. Bit of increased capacity. I think it's a 3-core instead of the original 2-core. It was for a 6-cylinder LH LX UC as advertised. The difference between the 6-cylinder and the 8 where the inlet and outlets come out, so make sure if you're buying one you do get a 6-cylinder one. Didn't come with any holes in it, and I just put a trolley jack under the base of it, lifted it up, clamped it to the radiator support panel, and just put a texter in through the existing holes, marked it, went out and drilled it, and fitted up absolutely beautifully. A really easy installation and a good quality radiator if you're looking for one. I've just recently bought a fan shroud. I think the company's called FENIX. It's a Stealth Series fan shroud, which I'll show you when I get it, so I can go to some thermo fans instead of the big old wind beater sitting on the end of the motor. Anyway guys, nice little radiator if you're looking for one. This is another product that I've bought off eBay. It's the FENIX thermo fans. Rightio guys, so the aim is to take the thermostat cover off, whack that thermostat in there firstly, and then I've got to get that old wind beater off the front of the engine, which is sucking a bit of horsepower out of it, and mount the thermostatic fans on. So I've made these brackets up. They're just bent up out of 2mm aluminium, just bent to the same thickness as the radiator, and to allow for drilling into to accommodate the mounting holes for the thermo fans. As you can see, here's one sitting on top, that's for the other side. Quite a simple arrangement. I've also taken the wind beater off the front there and just bought some shorter bolts and to hold that retaining pulley back in there. Anyway, progress. Okay guys, job done. You can see the brackets that I made. Basically they increase the face area for the fan shroud to locate on. The actual fan shroud was about 50mm wider than the radiator surface, so that extended face on that channel that I've made there has increased that locating face, so the shroud is completely sealed in that area. 2 thermo fans. I've still got to get bolted off, but it's in place, in position. It's just drilling and bolting the bolt holes, but she looks really good. Very, very happy with it. Have a go guys. FENIX fans, they look really good. That's the Stealth Series, bought off eBay. Pretty happy. When I wire them up, I'll show you them running. This arrived today, thermatic switch. The sensor is already fitted into the radiator, just pushed in through a couple of the fins down near the heat area, so where the hot water comes into the radiator. The reason I like this one is that it's got the little digital readout here, which I'll show you once it's running, and it's got a little set switch here so you can set the temperature. It actually supplies 2 fans, so we've got the blue wire and the orange wire go to the individual fans. When I originally put it in, I just wired both the fans into one wire, so I pulled it out, fixed it up, put it back in. Now I've got 3 wires coming out, an earth and a wire for each of the fans, which I'll hook up to this, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, on the back I made a little bracket to fit in, and I'll show you how that fits in. The little brackets I made to mount the radiator, this slides down in between those, so it's made a bit smaller. It'll slide down and fit in, and I'll show you that position when I get it in the car. So guys, she's all fitted up, works absolutely beautifully. The temperature reading on the digital readout is about 20 degrees different to the actual water temperature because of where the sensor is. The thermo fans sitting in there quite nicely. Little bracket I made up to mount right next to the radiator in those radiator support brackets, so just sort of capped it off, but working beautifully. I've got it set so the fans come on at 90. The first one comes on and at the 90 degrees, then 5 seconds later the second one comes in and it brings it down beautifully, brings it down to 5 degrees below the set temperature. Top job. She's got a nice little note sitting there. It's pretty much standard exhaust. I'm planning on a lot bigger exhaust coming out of her, but she's sounding very nice. Anyway, we might take her for a bit of a run on the road and let you hear her go. Again, she's not a power machine at the moment. Still waiting for that supercharger kit to come, but it travels quite nicely. Been for a bit of a run in Monty, the UC Torana, with the 173. This whole build process in the last couple of months has been all about a Barnett Performance Engineering supercharger kit that I purchased nearly 6 months ago. Shane's just finishing that off and putting the finishing touches on it, and the next series of videos will be about the installation of that supercharger kit onto the UC. If you've been watching my progress on YouTube and the build process of the Torana, you've probably seen a few of those, but it's good to have them all in one collection. It's great for my personal documentation of the process, but hopefully it's also helpful for people out there going through a build process, thinking about what parts they're going to use and where they're going to get them. But thanks for watching.